Meet the 2025 BMW M2. Now this has more power, it has more tech, it has a bunch of new customization options, but importantly it sticks to that classic BMW formula. Big engine in the front, rear wheel drive in a compact chassis. In this video I'm going to take you through everything that's new on the 2025 and then I'm going to drive it and tell you why it's such a special little car. Outside, not much has changed. You still have that divisive looking styling, but to be honest, it is actually growing on me. It's nice and wide and aggressive looking. The new M2 also gets a new bunch of color options, including this Dragonfire red metallic. Wheel designs are also exactly the same as before. 19 inches in the front, 20 inches in the back, and in a black finish now as standard. But they also come in a nice silver finish, which I think looks absolutely ace. And finally, at the back, perhaps its least attractive angle, there's a new M2 badge with a silver lining around it, and the exhaust tips are now black as standard. Interior updates are similarly subtle. The screens are exactly the same size as before, but they now feature BMW's new iDrive 8.5 system. The steering wheel is new, it has a flat bottom, but that's about it for changes in here. The cabin remains a really nice place to be. The seat is nice and low, the steering falls easily to hand, and the gear lever too falls easily to hand. This of course is the 8-speed automatic, but the 6-speed manual remains a no-cost option, an option which I highly recommend. Under the hood is the same 3-litre turbocharged straight 6 as before, but power has gone up by 18 bhp for a total of 473 bhp. Torque has also gone up by 50 Nm for a total of 600 Nm if you only opt for the automatic. The manual still has to do with 550 Nm. Now let's see what it's like to drive. So there are a couple of very good reasons why the M2 is such a special car. First of all, it is the most affordable proper full-blown M car that you can buy in India today. Secondly, it's the only one which you can have with a manual and rear wheel drive. The M3 or the M4, abroad at least you can still have a manual and a rear wheel drive, but in India it is automatic and X-drive only. That makes this quite a unique sort of proposition, because at this price point a rear wheel drive manual proper driver's car is rarer than hen's teeth. And this isn't just any car, this feels very special to drive. The handling, the ride, this engine in particular, straight 6, 3-litre, 473 bhp. But more than that, it's proper, it's what BMW does best. The straight 6, it is their bread and butter sort of engine. It is inherently smooth with twin turbos attached. It is properly rapid. It is also a very stout motor. Tuners have reported getting up to 600 bhp no problem whatsoever. Some people have gone up to even 1000 bhp, which is madness. But even in stock form, with this additional 17 bhp with this update, it is more than enough. 0 to 100 comes up in 4 seconds flat, but the in-gear acceleration is really quite something. Now in the car I'm driving, it is mated to an 8-speed automatic, and as far as automatics go, this is a very good gearbox. It is quick when you want it to be, it is smooth in the city, and if you are planning on using this as a daily driver, I can very well understand why you would want to get an 8-speed automatic. However, if it was me, my money would for sure go behind that 6-speed manual. Who knows how long we'll have these manuals around, and while we can still buy one brand new, I mean, that manual, if you can go and watch Atish's review, that manual is quite something. But for today, this automatic works just fine. And then there's the chassis. The M2 is the most compact of all the M cars, and I think in India it makes a lot of sense. Now this road I'm driving on is very narrow, and if I were driving the M3 for example, I would really have to be looking out for oncoming traffic and the edges of the road. But in the M2 it's not so much of a problem. It's a lot more fun just because of that, because you can play around within your lane without having to actually go into oncoming traffic, which is always great. Which brings us on to the handling. The M2 is not a very light car, it's about 1700 kilograms, but still it does hide its weight really well. The chassis is quite playful, it's quite easy to chuck around here and there. The steering in particular does a decent job of delivering some feedback. Although it is an e-pass system, it is one of the better ones. I find that the steering weights up artificially in sport mode, which is why I prefer to keep it in comfort. Same goes for the suspension. I think it works well in comfort. Sport and Sport Plus I think are best reserved for the track. Comfort works really well on our roads. And the good thing is I can store all my preferred settings in the M1 or the M2 button and have easy access to them whenever I need. Special mention to the ride quality, which in comfort mode is actually quite planned. I could quite easily daily this. It also doesn't bottom out on speed breakers considering it's a sports car. It doesn't do that all that often. Maybe it's a short wheelbase. I've only mostly encountered these really long speed breakers. So it doesn't really pose an issue for daily use, which is quite handy. One of the advantages of the car being rear wheel drive is that the steering is left to do just the steering, and it does that really well. It's very direct, it's very easy to place the car. It makes it quite easy to drive on these narrow roads. And this engine, it loves to rev all the way to 7200 RPM. It is so quick. And I think it sounds quite good too. Overall, the M2 is a very approachable little car. It is the most affordable of all the M cars, and I think this might just be my favorite. With all of them moving towards all-wheel drive, even hybrid assistance, they're all getting heavier. This one is just right, for me at least. This M2 feels like the last of its kind, a proper unfiltered driving machine. When the next one comes, it might just be automatic only. It might also have all-wheel drive and some sort of hybrid assistance. It might be faster, but can it match this for driver involvement? I think not. And the best part is, this M2 costs just rupees 1.03 crore. I know that is a lot of money, but in this context, I think it's a steal. As always, if you like this video, do share it with your friends, leave us a comment, leave us a thumbs up, and stay tuned for more videos just like this.